The reason why we developed Striker X was because we received a lot of feedback from military end users. And while they are wearing Striker XT and Striker HT, which they love, we got the feedback that there is some things which they would need in addition or what they would want to have changed. So what you see with the Striker X pants are pants which are basically, or they are based on the XT and HT concept, but there is maybe 3 major adders or differences, and one of it is things should be as reliable, as robust as possible, and in case if there is any kind of damage or breaking or whatever, then they should be field repairable. That's the first thing. The second thing is pocket configuration, or let's say pocket size as well. There are different requirements for that. So pockets is the second one. The third one is that the material concepts are based on the idea of no melt, no drip. Let's start with the pants, and I'll walk you down. And while I walk you down through the features of the pants, I will always refer then to these 3 different characteristics. We start with the waist. The waist is padded, and of course the padding is breathable, which we consider as very important. Of course there is still the stretch in the sides. If we move to the front, there is no press buttons. They might break, so then there would not be a field repairable. Therefore we are using Canadian buttons. They're easy to repair. First of all, they are very difficult to damage, and in case they were damaged, then they're field repairable. The belt loops, they are reinforced with Cordura, so less abrasion. The front belt loops can be opened. There is a Velcro. Still, there is place for an underbelt. Zipper, of course, with 2 zipper sliders. You see here, that seam covers a potentially critical point, critical in terms of it could be damaged. So that point which could be damaged is covered with a seam, and you will see that also later on. The flap, again with Canadian buttons. 1, 2. There is a couple of reasons for that construction. First is that construction gives you a much bigger access to the pocket. A zipper is always a bit limiting. Inside, you see an elastic cord, which means that even if the flaps are not buttoned up, then that cord still holds the pocket closed. That cord can be adjusted because the ends are loose, and depending on the circumference of your upper thigh, you can simply adjust it with a knot. So why a knot, and why not cord stopper? The reason is, if you're having straps around your leg, then the cord stopper could press on your thighs, and that might cause some troubles, especially after a couple of days in field. So here again, same principle. If the buttons break, then the draw cord still keeps stuff inside. My recommendation for this closure mechanism is close the second button, leave the first button open, because the draw cord will keep everything tightly closed. And you have good access still with your hand into the pocket. Vertical zipper, and inside Inside the pocket there is elastic straps, which again secure things. So there is actually 3 safety mechanisms. First is the button, second is the elastic cord, the third is the elastic straps. We have added a front pocket. Front pocket again with a button. Here again, if the button is not closed, then inside we have our tug lock system, which some of you might know from the urban pants. That means there is a stretch fabric inside. It's in that kind of shape. So whenever you're tugging something in, because of the stretch grabs whatever you have in your pocket. So even if the pocket is open, there is still some kind of retention for stuff which is inside the pocket. Let's move down to the knee. The knee system is like we have it in our Striker XT, like we have it in the HT. It's cleaner. Cleaner means there is no room or no possibility that this lower edge could be caught. So nothing can be pulled out, but the concept with our soft or with our SASTEC or now with our 3D tactical knee pads is still the same. There is still the possibility to separate a 3D or a solid pad. So everything is moved inside here. And still, you could use that pocket as a ventilation opening. We're going to the lower hem of the pants. Cordura is now from here all around and all around here. So there is an extended Cordura reinforcement, again for better durability. Of course, there's the boot hook inside, which can be secured with that strap. Width adjustment of the lower hem, instead of the, and we have to move around here, instead of the elastic cord, we have here an elastic with buttonholes and a Canadian button. So nothing could hang out, no bushes could be grabbed, you cannot get caught. And again, what you see here, the construction of that lower, you obviously don't see the pocket, but there is a pocket. You don't see it because everything is covered with seams. So nothing which sticks out and could break. Everything is covered. If we're moving around, the access to the lower pocket is from the side. Now, why is it from the side? Usually when you're using that lower leg pocket, to have access to whatever is inside, it is easier to exit it because you would usually exit it while you're kneeling. So that kind of access is much more ergonomical. And of course we have the width adjustment with the vertical zipper so that you can tighten up that section of the lower leg section. Moving around, now what we experienced through development was that depending on how bulky the stuff is that is put into the side pocket, there might be, I didn't experience it, but there might be the possibility that the pants and especially the knee section is turning either inside or outside. And of course you don't want that. In order to give the knee section the right orientation which you need, you have an adjustment here in the back area. How bulky the stuff is that is stored in the side pocket. The knee section might change its orientation and might go either to the outside or to the inside. And we have added here in the back, we have added the possibility to give the knee section the right orientation depending on what you have in your pocket, and that can be done with this. It's a button. It won't open by itself like a Velcro, for example. The button, it's one button for two flaps. One is coming from the right and one is coming from the left, and so you can play around. There is buttonholes, and with these buttonholes you give the knee section the right orientation. Of course, in the back of the pants you have the stretch fabric, like always, and you have a back pocket. So far on the Striker X pant. The Striker X combat shirt has a couple of features which are different to the XT and HT. Oh, sorry. The XT shirt, we don't have an HT shirt. So the shirt has a closure without a zipper. It's because of secondary fragmentation risk. So there is no risk for any kind of fragments which result from the zipper. So it's a simple overlapping closure. Again here, every critical corner is covered with a seam, so there is no risk of tearing. Velcro area on the upper sleeve pocket is with a pen holder or chem light holder in this area, and here in the back, the ventilation. In the armpit area, you see it here, it's a mesh fabric, of course again for ventilation purpose, and it's out of nylon material, which reduces abrasion when you're wearing body armor and you're wearing a chest rig. So all these hard edges, there are really a lot of stress on the materials in this area, and the nylon is pretty good abrasion resistant. The lower section has additional padding, which we found out is very nice and very comfortable, especially if you're longer in the field than this area where a bone, your hip bone is sticking out. That is nicely padded, and it releases stress. You see in the back area we added a little bit of camouflage, and the same thing of course in the front. We extended the camouflage. Left and right, of course, the loop areas for name tags and the country. The lower sleeve pocket, again, covered with seams, so nothing is sewn on, no critical parts. And the lower sleeve pocket has also some ventilation possibilities. So if you don't have anything in your lower sleeve pocket, you can leave it open, and it gives you good additional ventilation if you're wearing the sleeves closed. So here you get a good airflow together with the ventilation openings here in the back area, and together with the mesh which is in the sides, you have a very nice airflow in this area. What you see here is the winner of our camouflage contest, which we had last year. It's Prime 1. It's a camouflage print which is coming from the US. It's called Prime 1, said it already. And we will, over the next couple of months, we will feature a special limited edition of Prime 1 Striker XT Gen 2 combat shirt, the boonie hat, also second generation, and our HT combat pants.